What's up, everyone?
What's up?
Eddie Grand is here.
Eddie's back.
Yes, Chris Burres
I'm also back.
joining me again. And the reason why I had to have Chris back again is, well, one, that interview we did at the Paper Callers Party was awesome. One of the best interviews. Highly fun, highly entertaining.
Go check it out.
Yes, go check it out if you haven't already, because you got to see that first interview before you see this next interview.
Yes.
And the reason why we have Chris back again is because Chris has two different companies.
I have another business.
He has another business. And we felt that they should be in separate interviews because they're not really related. They're kind of two separate entities.
Right.
So Chris Burres, the co-founder and co-owner of EWR Media.
Now, EWR Media is actually a new name for the company. My CEO is like always changing things on me. And the most recent thing, he was like, I've changed everything else. Now I want to change the company name. Previous company name was eWebResults, and now we're EWR Media, really kind of reflective of going after bigger brands, like doing search engine optimization, pay-per-click, all internet marketing, website design for bigger brands.
And so you mentioned that you have a podcast.
Yeah, so my CEO, his name's Matt Bertram, you should look him up. He's actually an Amazon best-selling author for his book, Build Your Brand Mania.
Ooh.
Right? So he's written a book on how you could build your personal brand. And actually some of the stuff that he wrote in that book is modeled after how I've built my personal brand, mostly through the podcast. The podcast is the SEO podcast, Unknown Secrets of Internet Marketing. Doesn't that just sound good?
It does. How can they listen to this podcast?
Okay, so you can find it on any, if you want to brag a little bit, you can just go to any podcast app and search SEO and look for my mug, and then you'll also see Matt Bertram's mug. The actual title is the SEO podcast, Unknown Secrets of Internet Marketing. We've been broadcasting since 2009.
Oh, 2009.
Yes.
So over a decade in this
Over
now.
a decade of podcasts. Last podcast we did was 472. So we do a podcast about a week. We've kind of been really busy, so backed off on that. But you can learn everything about search engine optimization, pay-per-click. So the format of the show is kind of interesting. We go in and we find a really interesting article off of Search Engine Journal or Search Engine Land, kind of leaders, industry leaders, publishers. And then we take it and we kind of go through that article, we break it apart, we snap it around, we see how it fits with our customers, see if that experience matches, and then add our own 2 cents and really give you a good perspective on what is the information, what is the latest information in internet marketing that you need to be aware of. In fact, it's one of the reasons I do the podcast, so that we can stay on top of internet marketing, because it changes every now and then.
All the time. Every now and then, every day almost.
And so that keeps us up to date, and we keep you up to date. We just love to give back, give lots of value, and then you'll be rewarded later.
Great. So can you hit our viewers with some SEO tips and tricks and advice?
Yeah, so let's see. What would be a good SEO trick? So one of the things that we say on the podcast regularly, and this is really fundamental, is as long as you're providing a good experience to the Google user, Google will like what you're doing, right? I know that's very broad-based, but think about, is this the best? If you're going to post a blog, and this is very relevant at this affiliate summit, right? If you're going to post a blog or put a page together, create content, is it comprehensive? Is somebody who wants to read that, are you just trying to do a checkbox on a particular keyword? Or are you providing a comprehensive article that somebody who's looking for that information in general gets satisfied, one, to that keyword, because that's why you're writing it, but then two, for the full experience and the depth and breadth of that article, right? So write good things, and also make sure you've got other media, like pictures, if you can have a video that's really powerful. But they should walk away from that satisfied. In the old days, a lot of SEOers would talk about, only have inbound links, right? So make sure all your links are coming in and never have outbound links. You do want to think about this. What's the experience for a Google user if they reach the end of the internet on your page? That's not a good experience, right? That's a bad experience. So make sure you got references, make sure you're giving them maybe a Wikipedia link. That's always good, like for definitions of terms that they may not know. So that gives you a really good, strong article that's ticking all the boxes for the Google user. As long as the Google user is happy, then Google's going to be happy with you. So that's the trick.
User-friendly web pages and content.
So user-friendly means it's got to load fast, right? That's very important. There's some data like if every second it takes to load, you're losing 10% of the people who actually clicked to try and open the page, right?
Wow.
Like so,
Yeah.
like make
People are
it fast.
impatient, right?
Yeah. Make sure it's mobile friendly. So Google's indexing mobile first now. So there was a day when you used to like write a page for a workstation and then write a separate page for mobile, and they may not have the same content.
Right.
That's a no-no. A lot of people, we're probably not bumping against that unless you've got an older website. You probably need to change out your website every 3 to 4 years. That's kind of our turn with our customers who've been with us for years. It's like every 3 to 4 years, hey, it's time to redo your website. So yeah, so there's a lot of things that go into a kind of a comprehensive, well put together, well thought out campaign that has a good strategy, and that's where my company excels. And really, Matt, the author of the book and the co-host of my podcast, he's doing a bang up job delivering a lot of value to our customers.
That is a lot of really valuable SEO information, and you got this for free.
Free.
Once again, you're getting all this info for free.
No. I'll send you a bill. I'll be happy. Just go to my website. Go to eWebResults.com. Fill out a form and say, please send me an invoice for $300 for the advice that Eddie sucked out of you in the middle of an interview. You didn't tell me you were going to do that.
I'm good like that.
That's good. I love it.
So what are some SEO trends that you think are, for 2020, what are going to be some big SEO trends?
All right, so on our podcast, my CEO, Matt, and I have had some really interesting debates about voice search, right?
Okay.
So in search engine optimization, internet marketing, everyone's like, voice search, you got to be prepared for voice search. Voice search only means one answer, right? So that's important.
Yeah.
The reality is in my opinion, and we'll go back and forth on our podcast, my opinion is like voice search isn't as much of an SEO concern as people give it to, because really voice search, now maybe in what you really want to do is make sure you have a good Google My Business listing. By the way, that's the first thing you should, if you haven't done anything internet marketing and you're like, I should do something, 1, make a website, and then 2, make sure you have your Google My Listing profile filled out 100%. It's at least 5 photos, videos if you can. I don't care if you just take a camera and go, this is my video. That's better than nothing. Obviously, it's not good for the customer, but do a little better job. But that's better for Google than nothing. Fill out that Google My Business profile. Really, really important. Really important. So you want to have that Google My Business profile filled out. Okay. And then I have totally lost I got sidetracked on how important, that's how important Google My Business is. Like as soon as I start talking about well, that's the only thing you should do as of right now.
Very important.
Oh, trends. All right,
yeah,
so voice search. A lot of what happens with voice search is just this one result, except for like restaurant. When do you think about the last, say, 3 times you used voice search? So one of them is going to be like restaurants near me.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe movies.
Yeah.
Right. That might go in there. But when have you been like, I need a new camera, so I'm going to use a voice or a new light or whatever, and you've used a voice search to begin the process of making a buying decision? No. Right? No. So SEOs are like, be prepared for a voice search. I'm like, I don't think it's that big a deal. Now, you could get I'm sure there's some SEOs out there who would argue with that. In fact, my CEO will have some arguments with that. And that's great. That's what's interesting about this market. We're all trying to figure out what this Google algorithm is all about. Right. And we're all guessing and bobbing and weaving and figuring things out.
It's been another solid interview.
Solid. Good.
Man, Chris Burres.
I was worried. Like, I didn't want to let you down. Like, you gave me the privilege of coming back.
The first one was a tough one to follow, too. So, let them know, plug EWR Media.
Yes.
Let them know about the podcast, your contact info. Plug it for them.
Absolutely. All right. So eWebResults.com is actually the website. We've got a form. We actually have a free website analysis. Really what this, and that's an understatement. Really, you fill out the form and you get a 30-minute call with one of our internet marketing experts. And they're going to look at whatever data they have access to. They're going to do some competitive analysis on the phone with you and give you some actionable items that you can do. That's for free, right? The next step is actually is another extended period of time where you spend an hour with them. That's $5.99. That's 100% refundable, and it applies to future services if you use it. So that's kind of the process to interact with my company. You can find the podcast. It's the SEO podcast, Unknown Secrets of Internet Marketing. We're, like I said, podcast 473, we just did it. So that's, 237 hours of content. So you can go out there. Most of it's still relevant. There's going to be some stuff in the early days that aren't. Obviously, in the early days, we didn't talk about Facebook. Now we talk about Facebook from time to time. That's the best way to contact us.
And to contact you?
You can get a hold of me, Chris Burres, at eWebResults.com.
Great. Eddie Grand, Chris Burres, Affiliate Summit West.
Yes.
Day 2, closing out.
Interview 2.
Day 2, interview 2. We are closing it out. See you guys next time.
Boom. Awesome.